Hello. Is it me? Or is this another episode of PARANORMASIGHT, the Mermaid's Curse? Here we go. Yeah, we unlocked a new user episode. User Minakuchi, the other 800 years immortal. But I think we should do this one first for even more lore background before we go to the more or less present. Yeah, alright. We have Descendant and Duty, Arnav Barnum. The Tamati Baku, a treasure required to obtain immortality. Avi assumes that the descendant of Taishima, whom Ikoma knows, has inherited it. He tries to scheme a way to meet them. Oh yeah, Ikoma was the weird business shady guy, right? Yeah. Oh. Date unknown. Toba City, Ichika Town. Why are they making the date unknown? Hello again, Arnav Barnum's back on the scene. Allow me to summarize. Why is he looking at us? As expected, Ikoma contacted us today, telling us we'd have to wait a little longer before we could meet the descendant. Thus, figuring he had no intention of letting us meet her anyway, we decided to use Circe's ability to go looking for a descendant ourselves. Who exactly are you talking to? I'm merely setting the scene. Really feels like it raises the stakes, no? Makes it feel more like a thrilling adventure. Sure, you got me all worked up. But I'm trying to concentrate, so could you please stop distracting me? Alright, sorry. Circe, even from behind, you're as sweet as... Circe is using her dowsing ability to search for the descendant right now. What's that? Doesn't her dowsing only let us look for spiritual energy? And on top of that, doesn't she have to be familiar with the energy she's looking for? That's right, I was thinking the same thing. However, Circe was perfectly prepared. Before parting with Ikoma yesterday, she asked him to hand the iron box to the descendant when he paid her a visit. She said the descendant ought to have it, since it is so deeply connected to Taishima's history. Ikome agreed on the matter and would apparently go through with it, assuming he did hand it over. Then the iron box with its massive amount of spiritual energy has fallen right in the lap of our target. Now Circe just has to use her dowsing to locate the box. At least that's the plan. However, her dowsing's range is limited. With the spiritual energy the iron box possesses, its range is probably just 2 to 3 kilometers. So we had to narrow down the target area somewhat before starting our search. Well, I was just pressing the thinking button. So, any idea where we might start looking for the descendant? I think Mr. Ikoma said something about visiting her several times before she finally agreed to talk, didn't he? He did, which would mean that she doesn't live far away, she's a difficult person. In other words, she's a difficult person to deal with. Well, yes, Mr. Ikoma did say as much, but that doesn't relate to her location. Dang! What I meant is that if you visited her several times, wouldn't that mean she doesn't live too far from here? I think this skips some dialogue if you go that route already. Let's do this quickly again. Circe is completely focused on dowsing right now. There are several types of dowsing techniques, but it seems like she's using a pendulum. It would seem that the necklace she wears can be used for such a purpose. The closer you get to the target, the stronger the pendulum swings. This is the town of Ichiga in Toba City. The area is one of many in the area renowned for its armor divers. She seems focused. Best not to interrupt her now. Is there a mocking bird sticker somewhere? Maybe, perhaps very little? No? Okay. Okay. Okay, sadly. Oh, she doesn't live far away. She must live close enough for him to have paid her frequent visits. Yes, exactly. So I think it would be best to start by searching the towns within Toba. I see, but there are quite a few towns in the area, right? About that, when we partied yesterday, Mr. Rikuma mentioned something else that struck with me. When you asked to meet the descendant, he said he would probably drop by later anyway, since he also had to handle the matter with Miss Suma. Ah, right, he did say that, so basically the descendant knew Suma, the descendant lived close to Suma. He said it like he would drop by while he was in the area, so they likely lived closer to one another. Yes, I was thinking the same. Those towns with many armor divers are our top candidates. So that means we should probably start by searching all the towns in Toba that are home to a lot of armor divers. That's right, we can make our way up by searching along the coast for starters. It would be nice if we would at least learn the descendant's name. We might have a lead on that. Think of how you were... Oh, why is it so difficult to talk? Think of your research into the past of this place. Alright, I believe the name was... What was the name of the Taishima survivor? Minakuchi? Isn't there... Somikawa? Yeah. Somikawa. Somikawa. That's what Taishima's survivor was called. If there are any descendants, then they may still bear the same name. That's right. It's another clue we can follow. And so we ended up spending the morning traveling along the coast from one fishing town to another. This is the 4th town we've searched so far. It's about time we actually find something. Well then, perhaps it's about time I checked in with Sirs to see how things are going. So Sirs, what's the situation? Want to give it a try? Huh? Really? Will it still work if it's me? I will still be holding the pendulum, but you can see for yourself if you'd like. Kind of intrigued, I'm in. Alright, just like this. I will hold the pendulum, direct me to move in different directions to see where it reacts. They just did this so we can have another mini-game in the game, right? Very well, bring it on. Yeah. Pendulum won't respond right away, so the trick is to point it in one direction and wait a while. Once you find the spot where it reacts the strongest, just shout that you figured it out. Got it! When it comes to yelling, I'm your guy! What a beautiful hand. Sokoda! Yeah, arimasen. Oh? 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 Yeah, like here, right? Found it. There. Right there! Asoguda! Not quite. The reaction should be much stronger than... What? Takes a little time for it to react, so if you move around too fast, it might be hard to notice. We'll be searching for this place high and low for information. So that's how it works, got it. It should be around here. This is lower. Okay, I think I think this is fine, right? They're right there. You got it. So that means it's somewhere up there. Well, it may still be a bit further out, but at least we figured out what direction to go. I knew it was about time we hit the right spot. Alright, let's follow this thing and see where it leads us. Right. Do you know what I'm missing? It's the nice music from the first game. This is it. It's the apartment furthest back on this building's ground floor. Got it. Hello? Anybody home? Wow, you don't hesitate, huh? We're here on behalf of Mr. Ikoma. No answer. Guess no one's home. No, I can sense a presence. Hello? We'd like to talk about the iron box. Nandiska. What is it? I don't like this. What is it? You two. Avian says, is it? So you were the ones who found that iron box? Yes, that's right. You know, I've never talked to foreigners before. I'm so nervous I can hardly think straight. Please, no need to be so tense, Miss Somikawa. I promise we are both harmless and cheerful. You know, now that I think about it, we know Somikawa will die due to the curse of the what was called the fish curse, because Yumiko will later inspect her, right? But how? We also know that Circe was defending Somikawa from Yumiko. This is why they're meeting up. But how did Somikawa die by Avi's curse? How came that to be? Please, no need to be so tense, Miss Somikawa. I promise we are both harmless and cheerful. Right. She was more willing to meet us than expected. That iron box proved more useful than I thought. Nice work, sirs. I'll treat you to more onigiri senbei later. Ooh. She may look calm on the surface, but I know she must be excited to peek inside her traditional Japanese home. Well, a wooden apartment like this is pretty old school. I can see why she'd be geeking out. Okay. I'm so glad we got a chance to talk with her, just so I can look at the insides of this house, because I want to know more about Japanese... So this is Miss Somikawa's home. Even with the lights on, it's strangely dark inside. Even though it's daytime, the shutters are kept tightly shut. You can hardly hear any noise from the outside either. At a quick glance, I can't spot anything that looks like a termite bug in the room. I suppose it makes sense she wouldn't just keep it out in the open. Okay. So, she is a descendant of the last Taishima survivor. The way she dresses makes her look older, but I would say she's probably around my age. I thought she would be difficult to deal with, but now that we've actually met her, I would say it's more like she's extremely cautious, the type to never let her guard down. I can't even begin to imagine the kind of life she's led. Still, the fact that she's wearing traditional clothing is actually quite charming. I've hardly seen anyone wearing traditional clothes clothes since coming to Japan, which was a bit of a shock, to be honest. Talk about Miss Somikawa. Allow me to emphasize what an honor it is to meet a descendant of Taishima. Who's to say it's even true? I suppose your family must have lived in this town for generations. Nah, I moved here a couple years back. Oh, why is that? That's got nothing to do with the two of you. Fair enough. Then, if you don't mind me asking, do you have any other family or relatives, Miss Somikawa? Why? Apologies, I was merely wondering if there are any other descendants. Dunno, but I'm probably the only one left. That too will come to an end soon enough. Oh, what do you mean by that? No more than what I said. So, do you live here by yourself, Miss Sumikawa? That's right. Okay. Talk about the iron box. Where exactly did you come across the iron box? I followed this map that was my family's possession. Supposedly it was left behind by the Omyoji who sealed away the curse of Taishima. A map, you say? It led us to the iron box. It must have been resting at the bottom of Ise Bay. Since it's such a valuable artifact deeply connected to Taishima's lost history, we felt we absolutely had to tell you about it, Miss Sumikawa. Oh yeah? If I may say so, I noticed your interest in the iron box. Could it be you already knew of its existence? I didn't know it was a box, but I had been told something still remained of the island. That makes sense. Speaking of that box, I don't suppose there was something inside. Yes, inside was a record detailing how Taishima was destroyed, along with information on the curse of the raging waves. A record? Oh, allow me to fill you in on the details. And that sums it up. Such a horrid man, wouldn't you say? Massacring the people of Taishima because he wanted to find a mermaid that bad. The grudges left behind by the events coalesced into two separate curses, and ultimately Taishima was destroyed along with everything else. I'm sure it must be excruciating to hear the tale of how your Anxious' home was destroyed. But I believe this story should be passed down so people can learn of Taishima's true history, would you agree? That was all recorded in that box. That was all recorded in that box. Awkward. Talk about the Tamatebako. No, we better wait before broaching this topic. If she realizes that we are after the Tamatebako, it will only make her more cautious. Okay, talk about legends. By the way, you may consider this the curious whims of a fantasy author, but would you be able to elucidate me on some of the stories that have been passed down in your family? Now I get it. You also came here cause you wanna ask about mermaids, huh? You got me. Alright, you got me there, it's true. But can you blame me? As a fantasy author, it is in my blood. If mermaids truly do exist, then I must sate my curiosity. I knew it. Whatever your motives, you're not getting the Tamatebako. I'm not falling for one of Ikuma's schemes. Oh, here we go. Miss Somikawa brought up the Tamatebako all on her own. She really does have it then. Just as I thought, Mr. Ikuma is after it too. That sneak. Okay. I'm not gonna share the family's legends of Taishima with just anyone. Did you just say that Ikuma is after the Tamatebako? Ah, so you didn't know? Well, he is. That's exactly why I hid it somewhere where no one will ever find it. I see. It must be very precious to you then. Well, I'm relieved that iron box found its way to you then. So, was there a curse stone inside the iron box? A curse what? Don't play dumb, there must have been one. Well, yes, there was. So you already knew about it. There was indeed a curse stone inside. That's what I thought. Then how about a trade? You two want the Tamadibaku, or don't you? Oh, a trade. Date unknown, Isabel offshore. I didn't think we'd be going this far out. You certainly shook me when you said we had to take a boat all of a sudden. To think the Tamadibaku would be hidden at sea. What incredible plot twist. Ah, my apologies, I guess that's just the writer in me coming through. This is all too thrilling. You sure can talk. I believe it or not, I'm actually holding back. I can actually go on and get great length once I get started. That was a praise. There's nowhere to run on an island. No matter where you go, someone's always near. It's always too loud, grating on the ears. Like Nep from Portugal. The sea, though, once you get this far out, it's nice and quiet. Nothing but the sound of the waves. No talking, no irritated folk or commotion. Only fish swim in without a sound. This is fine, stop the boat. Oh, Circe is not here. It's just us two. Okay. Shikigami? What the hell? Isn't this like a death god? What? Okay. I've come all the way out here to the middle of the sea on Miss Sumikawa's request. This boat can only carry 2 people, so I've left Circe to watch the shore. Given that Ikuma's after the Tamatibaku as well, he might try to interfere if he learns of this, so Circe is keeping an eye out to make sure he doesn't try to follow us. It's reassuring to have some backup, I guess. I think something will go wrong here, and this is how she will end up as a fish. I've come all the way out here to the middle of the sea on Miss Sumikawa's request. Oh boy. We are somewhere off the coast of Toba City, accompanied only by the sound of the waves and the cries of seabirds. Did she really hide the Tamatibaku here, in a place with no landmarks whatsoever? And if it's at the bottom of the ocean here, how are we supposed to retrieve it? Miss Sumikawa used to be an armor diver. Could she be planning to go down and get it herself? I can't shake the feeling that there's something behind me. Or is she maybe a curse bearer of her own? And this is her curse. Ah. She looks so solemn. I wonder what's going through her mind. Not going to lie, I'm a little concerned she still hasn't told me the conditions of our trade. Would she ask me to trade her the curse stone? I want to ignore this on purpose. Talk about the trade. So will you tell me what you want to trade for the Tamatibaku now? You've got the Forsaken Fish curse stone with you, right? Sure do. Have a good look. The Forsaken Fish curse stone. Looks like the real deal, alright. You want to trade the stone for the Tamatibaku, right? I figured as much. Well, I'm fine with those terms. Let's do it. No, that ain't it. Oh, that ain't it? I will kill you and take it. Talk about the trade. You know, I once had a sister. Her name was Mare Sumikawa. What? Is she lying right now, or were they really sisters? You say you had a sister, does that mean? Yes, she's gone. Died in an accident at sea about 5 years ago. I see, my condolences. So there actually was another descendant. I think she's lying. She must be Mari herself. You folks seem to be pinning your hopes on me just because I'm one of the descendants. But the one who actually inherited our duty wasn't me, it was my sister. Your duty? That's right, the duty of the Taishima bloodline has been passed down in our family for generations. Even more, our generation would be the one to handle the 400th year since the disaster. My grandpa always said that was particularly important. So there was a duty Taishima's descendants were meant to perform after 400 years. But I was young back then, I still had dreams of my own. I wanted no part in some annoying duty, so I ran away from home at the first chance I got. I pushed all that responsibility onto my sister, but I know I should have helped her. I see, so that's why your sister was the one who inherited that duty. Talk about the trade. Before we discuss the trade, would you take the time to listen to my story? Very well, I'm listening. So it wasn't Miss Somikawa who inherited the family duty, but her older sister. This is probably part of her so-called request. I'm curious, so I might as well hear her out. This duty you mentioned, was it to break what remains of the curse of the raging waves? I suppose they were connected, but lifting the curse would have been a step along the road, but it wasn't the goal. Or really, then what was it? Well, it was to return the mermaid that was left behind in Ise Bay to Ryugu. That was the real duty of the Taishima bloodline. Return a mermaid? So it's true, there really was a mermaid stuck in Ise Bay because she couldn't return to Ryugu. That's right, her name was Sobai. Oh, she's come up in our research, so she was real after all. You see, my sister that took on the family duty, it seems like she actually met Sobai herself. She got to meet the mermaid? After leaving my hometown and making a living as an armor diver, I'd all but forgotten about the duty I left behind. I had no idea what our duty actually entailed. When I finally learned the truth, I was crushed by regret. Regret? Why? So you know, ever since I was a little girl, I've always been fascinated by mermaids. Understandable. I read The Little Mermaid so many times, the pages of the book had started to wear away. I would see them in my dreams over and over. Back then I wanted nothing more than to become a mermaid. That's what led me to become an armor diver in the first place. But the true nature of the family duty is only revealed to the one who inherits it. I see, what bitter irony. But couldn't you meet the mermaid after you learned the truth? My sister took pity on me and attempted to call her to meet me once in secret. My sister Mare even shared some of the things the mermaid had told her. But you know, Sobai was a cautious mermaid who never truly opened her heart to anyone but my sister. Me, on the other hand, she avoided. I was never even allowed as much as a glimpse. Quite the bitter outcome. Mare and the mermaid had grown close as friends. They trusted each other. They were inseparable. But she never once showed herself to anyone other than my sister, not even to a close relative like myself. So she hid herself away for 400 years. Was such caution really necessary? Your sister must have been an incredible person to earn the mermaid's trust. Though I can only imagine how hard it must have been to be rejected by an existence you so deeply admired and longed to meet. Mare moved to Kamishima to be closer to Ryugu, all for the mermaid's sake. Then one day she got married and changed her name to Mare Minakuchi. She seemed so happy. So she got married to Kamishima. I was so jealous, I couldn't think straight and ended up lashing out pretty badly. In an attempt to destroy my sister's relationship with the mermaid, I grabbed our family heirloom and ran off. Ah, the infamous Tamatibaku, yes? Yeah, the mermaid was supposed to take it back to Ryugu, so our family had carefully kept it for centuries. And so the years went by. Then 5 years ago I heard that Mare had died in an accident. That's why I came back to Toba. I thought that maybe this meant the duty would be passed on to me. Of course. But by then our parents and all our relatives had already passed away. There was no one left who knew about our duty. There was nothing I could do. I didn't know a thing, not where the mermaid was, nor how to call her. I'd given up. But while I was digging around, that man Nikoma found out I was a descendant of Taishima. You see, I was trying to get by. I sold the information my sister had told me about the mermaid. Back then I was making a living by giving folks a glimpse of the Tamatebako for a ridiculous price. And that brings us to the present, I suppose. Wow, there it is. So it's true, there really is a mermaid here in Ise Bay. If that mermaid really still exists, then we might be able to make contact. Yes, there must be a way. Yeah. What is the meaning of this? In other words, since your sister died in that accident, your family's duty was never fulfilled. And now you want us to go find the mermaid for you? That ain't it. Dang. I guess that must have been about 3 months ago. I was wandering the coast alone when the mermaid, Sobai, appeared before me. Oh, you finally got to meet her. She told me this. The seal on Ryugo's gateway has been lifted, so I will be returning. Your sister has done a great deal for me. I now ask you to return the Tamatebako. Wait, what? The seal was lifted? Ah, is that perhaps why the curse of the raging waves became active again? So what about the Tamatebako? Did you return it to the mermaid? I was so overcome with emotion and excitement, I told her. I've hidden the relic. If you want it back, take me to Ryugu. You said what? Not being able to fulfill my duty had been weighing heavy on my heart. But in that moment, that pain was gone. On top of that, I figured the mermaid had come to fetch me. Being able to visit the land of the mermaids, there would be no greater happiness than that. But Sobai simply told me it wasn't possible and that she would forfeit the relic. With that, she was gone. Oh. So the mermaid had already returned to Ryugu then. Ever since then, all I've felt is despair and regret. I'm completely empty inside. There's nothing left. Talk about a duty again? My family's duty has been fulfilled. That's what I meant when I said it was all over. Talk about the Tamatebako. But then the Tamatebako still exists, doesn't it? Sure it does, but even with such a fancy name, in the end it's just a grimy old box. I opened it once. I was hoping there would be some elixir of eternal youth inside or something, but it was completely empty. I see, even so, I would still like to trade for it. Are you sure? I don't see why, but whatever. It's not like anything matters anymore, I'm just sick and tired of it all. Oh. Yeah, okay, let's inspect this. I'm too curious. Wow. This is one of Circe's abilities, a Shikigami. When someone's name is written on a piece of paper, she can make that paper fly towards that person. They're great for delivering messages or tracking down someone. I was pretty spooked the first time I saw it, but I've gotten used to it. Okay, fine, I did just go, whoa, but not because I was actually surprised or anything. Is something wrong? Ah, it's nothing, don't mind me. I wonder if something happened to Circe. I would better read the note. Anne of Baranum. Let's take a look. Ran into 2 suspicious people looking for Miss Sumikawa. I drove them off for now, but be careful. Seems like something happened on Circe's end. I would better stay alert just in case, but I don't think I'll mention this to Miss Sumikawa. It would only shake her up. Okay. It was good that we inspected this after all. Damn it, Sobai has already returned to Ryugu. Even so, I will not allow myself to give up now, but I must get my hands on the Tamatebako first. In the end, I never did figure out what that Tamatebako really was. The mermaid forfeited it just like that, so maybe it never had any meaning to begin with. So, what do you want in return? I want to do whatever it takes to become a mermaid. So this is how it comes to pass. This is why we can use the curse as a player ourselves. We actually have to make the decision. I don't know. Miss Somikawa, don't tell me you want me to use the curse stone. Simply returning to the sea, that's my only wish. No, listen, there's nothing even remotely beautiful about the curse of the Forsaken Fish. All it will do is turn you into some twisted half-fish monster, nothing but a grotesque imitation of a mermaid. I know. That's fine with me. This curse is the essence of that mermaid's power. I'm ready to offer up my life to her. But whatever you do, I will just be drowning myself anyway. So you won't be dirty your hands. All you have to do is use the curse, a wish will be granted, and you would be doing me a kindness, that's all there is to it. Just hold on a minute, okay? This is just... The Tamatebak was hidden beneath the floorboards of my house. Please do this for me. Miss Somikawa, wait, Mate! Ah, she's already gone. Will she come back up if I just wait long enough? What now? What do I do? Should I grant her last wish? It's surely no worse than helplessly standing about as she drowns herself. Right, she was serious about this. She's been dreaming about mermaids ever since she was little. I know exactly how that feels. It may be a curse, but still, I will honor her wishes by unleashing the mermaid's power. That's how she wanted to go. I might be the only one who actually understands Miss Somikawa's feelings. If I don't act now, it would be like denying her final hope and dream. It may be a curse, but still, I will honor her wishes by unleashing the mermaid's power. It's how she wants to go. She's nowhere to be seen. Of course, she is an armor diver after all. Is it too late to call for help? Would she even be accepted? Help! Help! Taskete! What would happen if I don't use it? I'm too curious. Let's wait a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, nice weather outside, right? This is how you can get more content for your video, you know? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I think we have to use it, right? I think so. Complete all characters' profiles, Kamishima Gossiper achievement. Okay, so these are every person we will encounter, it seems. Azusa Somikawa, so she really is a sister. Female Taishima descendant, 40 years old. A woman living in Toba, although she occasionally does work as an armor diver, it is unclear who she is and where she came from. She apparently showed up in Toba about 5 years ago with nothing but a grubby wooden box to her name and has been living there ever since. As Marimi Nakuchi's younger sister, Azusa is also a descendant of the sole survivor of Taishima. Following the destruction of Taishima, the Somikawa line hid themselves away, living for generations in a small village within the city of Shima. The book The Little Mermaid was a constant fixture in the household. A decision made so that the children of the family would grow up with a familiarity with mermaids, and Azusa read it repeatedly as she grew up, the tale fueling a fervent admiration for mermaids within her. Upon realizing that she could never be a mermaid herself, she instead decided to become an armor diver, thinking that it would at least allow her swim freely through the sea like the beings she so admired. Freely through the sea like the being she so admired. Yeah. Okay. Thus resolved, she left her hometown behind, leaving the family duty nothing more than a troublesome burden to Azusa, to be handled by her elder sister alone. For all intents and purposes, it appeared that Azusa's wish had been granted. However, upon returning home following her parents' deaths, she was taken aback to learn that the family duty inherited by Mare was in itself deeply connected to mermaids. Forgetting how she had pushed the duty onto Mare to follow her own desires, Azusa grew deeply resentful of her sister, accusing her of keeping the mermaid to herself and asserting her right to take up the family duty, but it was too late. Mare and the mermaid had already forged an unbreakable bond that no amount of words or deeds could undo. Following Mare's death, she was finally able to meet the being that had enchanted her for so long. However, her desperate plea for the mermaid to take her back to Ryugu with her was met with a staunch refusal, and the mermaid left shortly after, never to return. With her opportunity to fulfill the family duty gone and her chance at connecting with mermaids lost, Azusa sank into despondency, spending her days in an empty haze. Amidst this despair, the curse of the forsaken fish that appeared before her seemed to be a final chance to have her wish granted. Driven by regret over what she perceived as a life of wrong choices and consumed by her obsession, she threw herself into Isabey and surrendered herself to the curse, ultimately dying due to its effects. Her form, writhing in the agony brought on by her sudden transformation, bore no resemblance to the mermaids she had once so admired as a child. Yet it is said that the expression on her face when her body was discovered a day later in Futamigaura seemed somehow content. So this is how it happened. And then we have Sobai. Question mark. One of 3 mermaids who were said to have lived near Taishima about 400 years ago, she has since returned to her home, Ryugu. After that, we managed to quietly retrieve the tamatibako from beneath the floor in Miss Sumikawa's house. All that was left to secure the dream of immortality was to obtain mermaid flesh. Since Sobai had already returned to Ryugu, we placed our hopes on the last remaining mermaid, Nagame. But we had to act fast, otherwise Ikoma or even those Paranormal Affairs Bureau psychics would get in our way. It might have been the after effects of using the curse, but I got sick the next day and had to spend a full day bedridden at the inn. How pathetic. That's when I heard news that 2 female divers had gone missing near Toba. The fact that I had been involved in both incidents made me feel worse. Oh, because he used the curse and then accidentally even killed other people. When Cersei heard the news, she just mumbled something with an unreadable expression on her face. I had no choice, there was simply no other way. Or at least that's what I kept telling myself as I struggled to get out of bed. The next day, August 7th, we set out to gather more information on Nagame and the other mermaids. We traveled to Kamishima, the island where Mari Sumikawa, or rather Mari Minakuchi, used to live. Arrive in Kamishima. Date unknown. Still, Azusa Sumikawa, a descendant of Taishima, has an unusual obsession with becoming a mermaid. Azusa agrees to hand over the Tamatibako on the condition that Abi uses the curse of the forsaken fish. I still want to go to the different options. Oh yeah, just really quick. She's a difficult person. The descendant knew Suma. That means the descendant and Suma knew each other. No, where did you get that from? I mean, you know, it would be an interesting twist. It should be a surprise, but that's not what it was getting at. He said it like he was going to drop by on his way over, which means they likely live close to each other. Aha, another twist. What? Sorry, but you've lost me. Anyway, it means we should target the areas that are most popular by our divers. The Sato. I've got it. It just came back to me. It's Sato. Huh, Sato? Where did you get that? What's that? Did someone say something? Where you go, dodging the question again. Just as always. Thanks, you're welcome to learn from me. Anyway, what I meant to say was, Macy. Sumikawa. Yep, yep, yep. Not at all. Well, come again, mermaids, you say? No, I just wanted to learn more about the map you found, that's all. You're a terrible liar. Whatever your motives, you're not getting the Tamadebaku. I'm not falling for one of Ikuma's schemes. Ugh. So, whatever do you mean? A curse stone? I've never heard of such a thing. What is it? Well, if there wasn't one, then I've got nothing else to tell you. Get out of here. It's probably best to be honest about the curse stone. A trade? Yeah, yep, I just remembered there was a curse stone in the box after all. Silly me. I knew it. Then how about the trade? You two want the Tamadebaku, don't you? Or trade? Yeah, and then rest. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this explains this then, at least. I don't know. Like, they say the corpse looked quite content. This doesn't really look, I don't know, like a smiling or content face to me, but whatever. Okay. Well, thank you for tuning in. I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.